Hello, I thought I would do a video for the blog today because it's a lot easier to get my passion across talking rather than writing it all down, which is fine in some cases. But today, obviously there's been lots of information on social media over the last week or so since we've had the application for a new coffee shop. So I'm going to go along the lines of the positive attitude as to why we need to look at our lovely local independents and tell you what matters. They're not just a coffee shop, they're not just a cafe, there's so much more. And I've learnt so much more this week. I thought I knew quite a bit, not quite the guru of Garforth yet. So I'm going to go through our lovely individual independents and tell you things that you might not know and how bloody marvellous they are. And I'm sorry to swear, but they are. So we're going to start with the Station House Cafe. The Station House came last August. It's nearly a year old already. The building was, captured by this wonderful family. Italian is Luigi, as you probably know if you've not been before. He is, and he's lovely, and he creates some fabulous Italian food. They help doing community projects. They've got loads of plans coming up. They've got local craft people within the Station House, which gives them a platform as such. They've been raising money of late, and they try and do things with local charities. Only on Monday did they raise £157 for the British Heart Foundation. Their licence is on their way, so as they progress with their family business, they can offer us more, including their bistro nights on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And it's progressed quite a lot. And inside, if you've not been yet, then go, because you're mad if you've not been in. Not only are the family lovely, they also employ 2 local Garthonians, which is good. Local jobs is always important. But they're able to work with local companies, which is a big thing for them as well. They've worked with BPS Plastics in the past when they were getting all their kitchen unit fitted. So that was a great cross-marketing. And they've worked with lots of people and have intentions to work with lots of other local companies. So that cross-marketing is in-house. And it's a great family business that's got so much longevity, and it could bring so much more. And it's one of them things that we were asking for. It could have been a building that was just left after the poor man had passed away, but instead they captured this, and it took a long time for them to get it and did something marvellous with it. Moving on to Pride and Produce, they've just celebrated their first year, and boy, look what they've done in our high street. They work with community projects, and because they're a Yorkshire deli, they like to work with everything that's independent, that again, giving other businesses a platform and cross-marketing. So people that do certain cakes, a little Percy the pie man, who they keep him in business by bringing his little pies and offerings to the shop. They work with Dun Michelle, they work with the Gin Shack, so they're cross-marketing all the time. They've been a dementia cafe, they've run projects within house like the crochet afternoon, which was really great. And then one of the best things that they've done is called Off the Wall. It was a project that came, I think, the back end of last year before Christmas, and they wanted the community to give back. Well, not the community to give back, but they wanted to give back. But what they found was the Garforth community also wanted to be part of that, sort of paying it forward, giving it back. And the Off the Wall scheme, if you haven't seen it, is right sort of by the cash till when you order. And what it does is, say for example, I'll go in and I want to buy a coffee and a cake. I will also then say, oh, well, I'll buy somebody else a coffee and a cake, and they'll put that post-it note up on the wall, and then they also match it. So there's 2 free coffee and cake. So if you know somebody who really could do with a cheer up, who's struggling financially, that wall's for them. Taking an elderly neighbour, that wall's for them. Go and treat them to a lunch, and the whole wall is full with a coffee, cake, full dinners, a bistro night. There's all kinds on that wall, and that's been created by Pride and Produce. Their suppliers of coffee is from a company called Old Leodinesian, bit of a mouthful to say, and that is a father and daughter team from Kippax, where their little business started in a garage, and now it's expanded and it's doing really well. And it's a local business, so they cross-market with them. They also, in Pride and Produce, offer local jobs to local people, more of the people that work there are from the Garforth area, and they just keep getting bigger and better. They've just had their licence, and now we can go and have a nice sandwich or for their bistro nights on Friday and Saturday evening with a glass of wine or a beer that they've got from Quirky Ale. So again, another cross-marketing. There's quite a lot that goes on in Pride and Produce that you might not know about, and the cross-marketing is key. Freshly Made we'll go on to next, just on Aberford Road next to CA Hair Design. A lot of people might not know it or pass it and not stopped in. You can park for free. Kate and the team have been going a fair few years now, and they are open 7 days a week and do mean breakfast on a Saturday and Sunday, as well as Monday to Friday, as well as lunch, and you can stay in or come on out. Apologise if I'm speaking quickly, but I'm really keen to get this information across in such a sort of a short time, so you're not going to float away and get bored, but you won't, because there's so much information that's really important that needs to go in here. But Kate and the team also work with the NET group at Halliday Court. The residents that are in there are part of a lunch club, and Freshly Made provide them a lunch every Monday, which is something that you probably didn't know. So again, they're working within the community and giving charitable things away and helping with isolation as well, and trying to get people to make friends. Kate has been such an ambassador for lots of charities over the last decade. One in particular within the cafe is called Talent Match, which is a government scheme which helps sort of underprivileged children or kids that are grown up and need some experience within a work environment. And she helps get that into the cafe so that she can then give a platform or a foot in the world of employment to the younger generation. So there's quite a lot of things you don't know. In Freshly Made, they also, you can phone up and order afternoon tea from, well, between 6 and 16 people, however many you want. And you can order that in advance booking. They do lots of options as well as breakfast and lunch and pies that they also use a local company for their pies. They also are just offering a veggie burger option. So they're looking at what's needed within the community as well, and they're listening to the community and they're working with the community. And only last night did they work with Quirky's offering cheeseburgers. So again, another cross-marketing. All these companies working with each other to give us more, to help each other. It's quite a lot that goes on inside each cafe. And then we go on to Cielo. Well, obviously, one of the bigger coffee shops and one of the first coffee shops that came to Garforth. It's been going, I'd say, coming up to 12 years now. Run by Nick and Linda Castle and a whole team of people that have been with them for a very long time, because the unit and the Cielo team work so well together, and what comes from that coffee shop is amazing and stuff that you, again, might not know. I've learned some stuff, and I thought I knew Cielo quite well, it being my second office for meetings. Over the last 3 years, they've given £6,000 away to local projects. £6,000! And they've got a plan this year to hopefully give some more. So that's giving money, because we've shopped, and in doing that and eating local and drinking local, they then be able to get some profit that then goes back into community projects, helping Garforth and Loom or a football club. Lots of stuff that they've helped out with. Obviously, most of you will know that they do their own coffee roasting in-house, and their coffee beans come from the likes of Ethiopia and many other areas. And it's coffee that's 100% traceable, so it goes back to the farmers. And I know other companies do that, and they are looking more after it, but that's generally their thinking on a bigger picture. They don't have to be a big commercial company to do good. They're a small independent, and they're very forthright in thinking about how they get their coffee. And then once they've got their coffee over and they roast it in-house, which always smells fabulous, they then package it up. And then, for example, I can go in, buy that packet of coffee, and then knowing the fact that not only have I got free coffee from buying a packet, which is always a bonus, but that money then goes back to Ethiopia. And there's 2 doctors that are working out that originate from Garforth that are out there working in Ethiopia, a place called Addis Ababa, if I've pronounced it right. And they're helping children with clubfoot. And now they're seeing the benefits of that, because the children that had such easy medical condition that could be fixed but no assistance available, we've given them that opportunity to be able to take that funds, help children. And children, I believe, are now running around laughing and playing like normal kids, you know, just from us buying coffee. It's just fantastic. Cielo also doing fundraisers this year, especially with Garforth Tigers. And again, it's funding for local things, for local projects with local sports people. And they have 20 paid staff and up to 40 volunteers, I believe. And most of them are local again. And within them volunteers, they are working with the Prince's Trust and Daniel Yorath House and the Academy and children or adults with special needs in order to give them a platform. They are able to then give them some work experience and give them a purpose and help them. But to work with the Prince's Trust, did you know that? I didn't know that. I knew they had volunteers, but I didn't know from which, sort of areas and why. And they're very conscious, Linda and Nick and the team, to help in the community as much as possible. Again, like Freshly Made and Pride and Produce and Station House, to create these independent coffee shops is more than just supplying coffee. It's about the community coming together. It's about stopping isolation, creating friends, being a place to be, and all the benefits you get from eating and drinking in there. Like Pride and Produce, Cielo also cross-market with Dunmichelle and other companies in order to give us and help cross-market with lots of other local people. It's massive scale. Could you imagine? And, the thought of one of them not being there and all that benefit that comes within that coffee shop just disappearing. That's potentially 40 volunteers in that year gone, 20 businesses, 20 people within that business with no job. It's important. It's what matters within that coffee shop, how great they are. And they're not just a coffee shop. We screamed out not so long ago for having more places to eat, more places to drink, and we've got them. The rewards from local independents are fantastic. The cross-marketing is great, helping locally and looking after our own. And if we don't, then that's potentially gone. We cried out for it. We've got it. It's all down to your choices that could put them in jeopardy. So that's where my passion comes from. That's the reason why I'm so passionate about standing up for our independence. That's why I do worry about when we get massive chain stores coming into Garforth, because of all that, what matters could actually be put in jeopardy. So just think next time when you go to any of them ones I've mentioned, as well as, Paula's Cafe and the Good Food Store and the butcher's where you can get a sandwich, there's a lot more that comes from it. We've got Shake It Up and Hot Eats and Cool Treats. Them independent people work within our community and do good things. So just think, it really matters.